Well, it finally happened. I finally got sick. It's been over 9 years, but I got sick the old fashioned way. And that's what I want to talk about today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Jaynes, and I help people get unstuck in life and live the life of their dreams. So I've talked about it before on here, and it's undoubtedly could happen at some point. A little bit of background. I've never had the flu. I hadn't had strep or vomit bugs since I was a kid. None of that stuff. Like, I used to just get sinus infections. But I used to walk around and tell people too, like, I never get sick except in the spring and fall, I'll get a sinus infection. Guess what happened in the spring and fall? I would get sinus infections. And I learned from one of my teachers, Wayne Dyer, in the past, change the way you talk. And like, if you affirm that you get sinus infections twice a year, you're going to get them. And it used to happen like clockwork. But I know my body. And in this day and age, what I want to talk about is how I got sick the old-fashioned way, is I didn't panic. I know my body. I knew exactly what it was. The sinus pressure up here, stuffy nose, no fever, no cough. I could taste and smell. But guess what? I didn't run and get COVID tested. I've been without insurance for a while, which I haven't needed, but I knew that I needed an antibiotic and was able to secure that. But I didn't buy into this panic. You know why? Because I'm not watching the news. I'm not living in fear. And I knew exactly what it was. Thankfully, I was able to get an antibiotic. I started that Wednesday. It's Friday, 2 days later. I feel almost completely back to normal. I'm going to finish the antibiotic. But, you know, like, everyone is so panicky about COVID and things. And everyone in my family's had COVID. I've been around them. I've never been tested. I never felt sick. If I felt like I had the symptoms, sure, I would have gone and gotten the test. But I was like, you know what? Most important for me is to make sure that I trust what I know in my body and my symptoms and address it first with this. The worst thing that could have happened is if I went and got positive COVID tested. You know, who knows? We've had friends that went to get tested, filled out the paperwork and left because the line was too long, and they came back positive. I just personally don't trust the test. I could taste and smell. I did wear a mask when I was out and about because I didn't want to, that's just common sense. Like, only because I was coughing some and didn't want to expose anyone, whatever. I'm not really freaky about that kind of stuff anyway, but just to be precautionary when you don't feel good. In this state of fear that everyone lives in, that's the least that you can do. But anyway, I didn't freak out about it. And the absolute worst thing that could have happened is if a test said it was positive, they said, just go home and sit there and ride it out, stay at home for 10 days, which I can't afford to do that. I have to work every day. We won't make it. I don't have that option. And the worst case is if I hadn't gotten an antibiotic, it would have probably turned into pneumonia or walking pneumonia. Then I got a real problem. I've read and heard stories of how some of these hospital policies are treating everything now. And I don't know. I'm just grateful, so grateful for my friend who helped me get the antibiotic. Thank you, TB, shout out. And I'm so much better. And, you know, like, I'm listening to my body. And as for me letting down my guard, I truly believe that stress and disease, I think stress causes disease. Think about the word disease. Break it down. Dis-ease. When you're not at ease. And I've had a lot of extra stress on me. And it can happen to anyone. This is not like a failure on my part. And I still affirm that I don't get sick. It happened. But I'm not going to keep saying that it's going to happen more and more. I've been healthy for over 9 years. And I'm only going to get healthier. I'm getting back in shape. I'm drinking more water. I'm taking better care of myself. But when we live in that stress-induced state, we're designed to have fight or flight. You know, like back in the day, you know, you might have a lion chasing you or something, and our bodies were designed to be able to kick into gear. What happens when we're living in high stress is the blood rushes to our extremities, away from our gut, our viscera. And I truly believe that most of our health originates in gut health, and that's why probiotics and things like that are so important. But when you're living in that state of stress, whether it's constant worry, constant fear, you know, all these 70,000 thoughts that go in your head every day, your body secretes all these stress hormones, and it creates a lot of inflammation in your body. I have no doubt that that's what happened with me. I've also done a lot of natural remedies. I've been taking zinc and vitamin C extra. That helped me a lot. I have one of those Navage things. It's like a nose vacuum, basically. Kind of like waterboarding. It kind of gags you, but it really works. So, I don't know. I just think it's important that I'm sharing this because, for one, being honest, I've made videos how I haven't been sick in 9 years. Okay, the clock is starting over. Maybe I'll make it another 9. But more importantly, too, I didn't freak out. And I think so many people right now, if they get a sniffle, they get a cough. And look, there's times I couldn't smell. You know why? Because my nose was clogged. That happens when your nose is clogged. Sometimes you can't smell, but I could always taste. Anyway, I might get judged for this. I might get shamed for this. I don't really care. But you know what? I didn't live in fear. I'm not living in fear. I don't watch the news. I don't know what to believe with all this. I'm not here to rant against it, but it's time that we all start acting with common sense. If you don't feel well, go to the doctor, get on medicine, figure out what it is. I didn't go out and I wasn't exposing myself to anyone in a close proximity. I don't know. I knew what it was, and 100% right. And I'm a million times better than I was 2 days ago. So maybe just try to live less in fear. Don't assume everything is the dreaded C word. All right, everyone. Have an awesome weekend. And of course, the best day ever. It's the only one we got. Thanks, everybody.